What's up, y'all? Thank you for checking out the Hospitality Strategy Lab. My name is Jason Littrell, and today I want to talk about, maybe a little bit about my experience as being a business owner. And as you know, when you work for yourself, there are no days off. I owned a restaurant for about 6 months, and it was very difficult. I was not. I just didn't do very well. There was a lot of problems. Not the least of which was, I had just had my baby right when a couple of days before the bar opened. But as you know, when you own a bar, you're constantly working, you're constantly running around, and you're constantly fixing stuff that, like, somebody quit, or there's just a problem with a guest, or a vendor is giving you a hassle, whatever it is, a delivery didn't make it. So this oftentimes is the thing that you do that you look back at the end of the day and you're like, oh my God, what did I actually do today? Did anything actually happen today? And so what you do is you end up sacrificing the important for the urgent. And so the things that you're supposed to be doing to drive your business and build your business long term are typically being sacrificed for the things that you cannot get to, or that you have to get to because they're urgent, because there's nobody else to do it, like the toilet's running or whatever. In the tech world, the world that I live in now, that's kind of the case as well. There's just so much going on. There's so many strategies and tools and tricks. And with AI, it's just like exploding right now. So these are like the shiny objects. And I have all of these toys. I have all these systems, and I've invested in all of them. And I think that's been a huge reason why my business isn't growing the way I want it to grow. And I have like very specific measurable goals on how I'm going to get there. This video is part of them, for instance. And so as I've pondered over the holiday season and over New Year's Eve, I'm like, how do I distill all this stuff, and knowing what I know based on the research from all the stuff that I've learned about Google, how people make decisions, and how people decide whether or not where they're going to go eat. How do I distill this into a program that will provide the most value in the shortest amount of time without having to do anything? And so, anybody who says you're not going to have to do anything is full of shit. It's just not possible. You're going to have to do stuff. But what I've done is I've identified these key areas there where, so after tons of research on how to deliver the highest return on investment for clients, in the absolute shortest amount of time, and selfishly, this is how I keep clients forever, by the way, is I'm just sticking with what works, just doing the boring, unsexy stuff that just drives results. And so we've developed this program, but what I wanted to talk to you about is that there are systems out there that can save you double-digit hours in time a week. And it's by identifying the things that you're doing that are not driving the business forward. And a lot of times we think that those things are extremely urgent. Like, for instance, the phone ringing. And so I just want to talk to you about this system that we have called missed call text back. And it's extremely powerful, especially for bars and restaurants. And what it is extremely simple. The phone rings, you don't pick it up, and we automatically text somebody back saying, hey, I'm sorry we missed your call. What can we do to help you? And what happens before that is during your onboarding, which takes about 2 hours, 3 hours maybe, is we just plug in a system that says, what does your bar do? What are your service standards? And what's on your menu? And what that does is once we feed that into the AI, it'll automatically text the guest back as soon as they call, and it says, hey, sorry we missed your call. What can we do for you? And the questions are typically pretty simple. Like, I'd like to book a reservation. I have a dietary restriction, and I left something at the bar, or whatever it is. There's a short list of questions that people ask over and over and over again. And so what we do is we train the AI on exactly what those answers are, and then we make sure that it's in your style, in your voice, and that we're not being like salesy or weird. Then we make sure that it understands how to book a reservation. And so, the follow-up of every conversation is like, here's the answer to your question, or the phone rings. Here's the question. Here's the answer to your question. And here's a reason to come in, or here's a reason to sign up for our mailing list, or whatever it is. And so we do that automatically. at scale. And so if your phone is on the business, like I have a client who's a burrito shop, and their phone is their business is the phone. I mean, they get 20, 30 phone calls a day minimum on a very slow day. And so, but typically hundreds. And so what we're doing is we're converting all of those phone calls that they can't get to into text message conversations where people can learn how to order online. And then they automatically get a response. So for instance, like a lot of times we get a question is like, is there lard in your tortilla? And so we've already answered that question. So we answer that question with like, no, there is no lard in the tortilla. Here are our vegan options. And so we say, here are vegetarian and vegan options in the text message right away, so that people, because if they're not getting the answers to these questions, then they're going to go back to what they already know. And so this urgency, this quick response, has been extremely valuable for this client. And so like, it's pretty simple for us. I mean, you're onboarding, we have a 14-day onboarding program that addresses the key drivers of new business, database building, and discovery. And so like database building, it's like every time the phone rings, we're asking people, not only do they want to be in our loyalty program, we're asking them for feedback on their experience with us so we can improve our business. And then if they've had a good experience, we're saying, hey, here's a way to give us, here's a way to get us here's a way for you to express your gratitude and leave us a good review. And then checkmate, we automatically respond to that review, which Google loves. So aside from that, like that's like this, so all we ask of our clients is to connect their Google business account with my system. And then we will automate the rest. We will do the rest for you, so you don't even have to deal with it. And then we use a service called Yext, Y-E-X-T, that increases your citations and your backlinks to your website by like 150 or so. So that really boosts your SEO, increases your discoverability. But most of the time, like I forget the percentage, but it's like in the high 80s, like people will go to Google Maps to find out where they're going to eat next. And they're looking for things like margarita near me, burrito near me, that kind of stuff. And so this is the key intervention that every bar owner, every restaurant owner should be doing, is by saying like, hey, like we are optimizing our Google business profile, and then we're automating the conversation. So we are engaging and giving Google what it wants to let Google know that we're relevant. This is the discoverability. And then when a bunch of other websites link back to you, which we set up for you automatically, then that Google knows that you're relevant. And so you go from like 10th, which means nothing, into the 3-pack, and which is the first 3 responses, which are the only responses that matter in Google. So the first thing we do is we'll set up your account, and then we connect your Google business account, and then we create a new phone number for you, which can forward to your existing landline if that's what you want, or what we would prefer is we'll set up automatically. It'll ring your phone like your landline that you have now, or your apps, whatever you want. And then, but if we miss the call, then it'll automatically text people back during business hours, and it'll answer any question that anybody has. And then we ask for reviews, or we ask for feedback, and then we ask for reviews, and then we respond to your reviews. And that is a timely response to Google reviews that is contextual and relevant to the comment that they left in the review, is just gold for Google. And so, like, I do not like having Google as a business partner. I think Google is scary, and I think it's scary how much power they have over independent bars and restaurants. And so, like, not only are we appeasing them right away, but we're also taking people from Google and putting them into our database, into our universe of people that we can market to. And this creates this like flywheel. It's like what we're doing is we're systematically and incrementally taking people off of Facebook, Instagram, and Google, and then putting them into our own database that we can say, here's more of what you want. And you know who loves it? My clients love it because it saves them a ton of time. They love seeing the weekly emails that I send that say that you're getting X% more contacts this week. They're saying that your database grew by X% this week. And we're saying, and we're saying we've sent X% more emails this week, and X% more people open these emails. And so when that happens is we track redemptions on what we're offering, and we can see tangibly how how effective our stuff is. And so, this is like a flywheel. So you're becoming more discoverable. You're addressing your own customers directly. It's your people. They're not on DoorDash. They're not on Grubhub. They're your people. And then you're making Google happy by getting more and responding to reviews, and also having a bunch of backlinks. So this stuff never takes breaks. It's never going to be a bridesmaid in somebody's wedding. It's never going to show up to work hungover. You never have to fire it. And so these are the foundational stuff that we address in the first 14 days, and it's typically quite a bit less. But just depending on our work volume and our onboarding flow, we promise 14 days, but it's typically we can have you set up in like 7 days. And so we're listening on all channels. And this happens almost overnight, where it's like you're listening on your telephone, on Instagram, Facebook, email, text messages, and we're converting all of those people that are passive, looky-loos, or one-time guests into being into a lifetime value. And so the biggest number that I look for is like, how much are we growing the lifetime value? Because we know that for every contact in the database, there is a specific value. And so the name of the game is to increase the value and increase the contacts in the database. That's pretty much the whole ball game. So the customers love it because they're getting answers to responses that they like. They're getting their responses right away, and they don't have to decide where they're going to go to next because they haven't heard from you. So if this is something that you want for your bar, I am enrolling now, and we can get you started pretty quickly. So if this is something you want for your bar, just leave a comment, send me an email, text message, whatever it is, and I will get right back to you. All right, that's it for the Hospitality Strategy Lab for today. I've been Jason Littrell, and I will see you next time. Thank you.